Welcome to the dynamic learning hub of ExcelR at Andheri East. A prime spot conveniently located at just a 5-minute walk from LIC Andheri Metro. In our journey of over a decade, we have proudly trained over 2 lakh students. We've also been recognized by Deloitte, Silicon India, and other accreditation bodies. Experience learning like never before in our spacious and comfortable classrooms. With high-definition projectors and state-of-the-art acoustics in place, we ensure effective learning even to the farthest point in the room. The hybrid mode is a game changer as you can enjoy the benefits of a live classroom from the comfort of your home. Even if you happen to miss any classroom session, you can still attend the same session with the same trainer at the same time at your convenience, maintaining consistency in your learning progress. Want to get started? Join us for a demo or career chat over a cup of coffee at our Andheri branch. ExcelR. We don't just train, we build careers.
Yes, so the collaboration with ExcelR was an excellent one. We conducted a Power BI workshop with Advanced Excel over a span of 3 days. The workshop was almost 12 hours long in total. Mr. Karthik, who was an amazing trainer,
Good afternoon, everyone. Hope all are doing good. So we'll start the session. It's been 5 minutes late. So yeah, today we have our trainer Prashant sir. Prashant sir, you can take up the class.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hey everyone, good afternoon. Hope all of you are doing great. Okay, we'll get started in a minute. Let me quickly share my screen. We'll just have a small overview of what we have discussed yesterday, and then we will proceed further with our topics. Okay, let me quickly share my screen. Just give me a minute, please. Okay, so welcome back again, once again, everyone, for the generative AI sessions. So as we already discussed yesterday, like we got a clarity about what is GenAI, okay, how the things are going to look, what are all the different things we have to consider. And then I also explained to all of you that what are all the different steps we should be able to consider whenever we move forward. right? So those are actually the things which we discussed. So now I am going to go ahead and explain to all of you that what are the next things we have to consider right now. Okay. And then how we can be able to take it further, and then we can write our own prompts and can be able to take this journey like fully further. So let's go ahead and get started. Just there was a small lag. Network. Okay. So yesterday we covered about the topics, like we got to know what is exactly the generative AI, right? In short, we basically call this as the Gen AI, right? So this is what we learned. And then what is the purpose of generative? So when you say about generative, right? Generative means it is responsible for you to create the content. Okay. So whatever the content you want to generate, like it may be your text, or it may be your audio, or it may be your video, okay, or it may be the code. So you can be able to do all of these things using the generative AI. And as part of generative AI, generative means it is responsible for you to generate the content like text, audio, video, code. Like this, you can be able to create a lot of things. And how this is all been creating, that is with the help of the artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence here is playing a very important role for us to go ahead and then create the appropriate content. Okay. Yesterday we discussed in a very detailed way that how it is going to work. So we got that entire clarity. This is what I just have explained to you, right? And then later we moved into, like, if you want to generate the text, you can have Chat GPT, or you can have your Microsoft Copilot. At the same time, you can also have your Gemini, or you can have your Claude, Anthropic. These are all are the different LLMs, which we call large language models, which can help you to go ahead and can generate the text as much as you can. Like whatever input you provide, the relevant output you're going to get to know from you. At the same time, if you want to generate any images means, do not get confused, like what images it is. See, images are nothing but your imagination. Like you are imagining, for an instance, like as I said you yesterday, right? There is a Charminar, okay, and there is a very heavy rain falling onto it, and then people are moving here and there. You just give something like this to AI, it will go ahead, it will just sit into your imagination, whatever you have written, and then will be able to create an art for you. Okay, so that whatever imagination is there, it will try to make sure that it is linking to it. And by any chance, okay, by any chance, if you think that the image is not appropriate or it is not as per your imagination, then you can still refine it and can take it further. Okay. But if you want to generate the images, okay, if you want to go ahead and generate the images, right, you definitely need something called as the Tally. Tally is the engine which will make sure that your images are getting created at the back. Then to generate the code. So code can be generated using GitHub Copilot. Okay, so GitHub Copilot, whatever you see here, right? This is to help you to write a standard code and an efficient code so that it can be able to save all your time and effort. Okay, it can be able to go ahead and can save a lot of time and effort so that you can be able to proceed in a better way without any difficulties or concerns. That's what I just want to highlight over here specifically. Okay, and that's your GitHub Copilot. Basically, this is how the model is going to work. And whenever you want to generate the code, even in the Copilot also, you can generate the. Okay, so that is how you can be able to generate different types of content available. And then yesterday I have explained to you, as I said, GenAI is meant mainly to create a new content like audio, image, text, code, video. Like this, you can create a lot of content, whatever is needed for us to proceed further. That is how generative artificial intelligence is going to play a very, very important. Okay, and then later we discussed artificial intelligence. If you want to understand in one line, I will say we are transferring the human-like intelligence to the machines. Because humans are super intelligent species, and we want to make sure that human-like intelligence is getting transferred to the machines, and then machines can also work in a super speed. Okay, machines can only work in a very speed and in a very quick when compared to human beings. But again, as I said yesterday, like if you want to know about the sentiments, emotion, empathy, all of these things will not be present in the machine. So there the humans are having the upper hand. Okay, again, everything has its own pros and cons, right? So that's how it is going to. And yesterday, as we discussed, your human intelligence will be transferring to artificial intelligence. Now, artificial intelligence is a machine which will have a human-like intelligence and will be able to do the activities, whatever you are going to provide it to it. Okay, that's how it is basically going to. And then the same thing again, artificial intelligence is a very broad area. It's not like just with one definition we are done with it. Okay, it is a very broader spectrum you have here. In artificial intelligence itself, there are again a different types of things which we should be learning, and we will be doing that. Okay, so artificial intelligence is actually a technology which is very broad in your computer science. And its main focus is to create an intelligent system. Okay, it's not like you create some random system where it is not meant for any purpose. No, you cannot do like that. You have to make sure that the system is intelligent. Just by supplementing the data to the machine, and then later if it is not helping us out in any of the way, then that is not an artificial intelligence. The end goal here is create an intelligent system where it can benefit us. Okay, it should not make our life pathetic, but instead it should make our life much easier. So that is the reason we typically need a human-like intelligence incorporated into a machine, so that machine can do some intelligent things for us rather than as a human being. Like we don't need to be dependent, or we don't want to keep on doing manual tasks every time. Give some tasks to AI. AI can go ahead and do in a very quick way when compared to human beings. In a very speed, it will be able to go ahead and deliver the results to us. Okay, and then coming to machine learning. So now there may be a confusion with some of you thinking that is this something different? No, it is a part of AI. That is the reason I said you while I was defining the AI here. It is a very broad field, right? It's a very broader area within your AI. So imagine that this is your entire artificial intelligence. Now within this AI, you have your machine learning as one of the category. So machine learning, the name itself says, see, the name itself makes it very clear that it is a machine learning. So machine learning here means what? It's all about like you are making the machines understand. You are making the machines learn so that it can be able to go ahead and work in a way however we want it. And that's what is our machine learning. So you are going to make the machine educate, like how as a human being, you are getting educated. So you have first gone to a school, primary, secondary, right? Then you completed your graduation, and then some of you would have gone for your post graduation, right? So that's how you have been learned through your experience by going through different curriculums in your education. You have learned all of these things and you're still continuing to learn, which is a great thing. Same happens with the machine also. Until you don't educate, until you don't make your machine learn, then definitely it will not go ahead and help us out. As I explained yesterday, right? What did I say? If you provide an input to a machine, machine should be in a position to give you the output. Otherwise, what is the point in wasting time? Like I give an input, but you don't respond to me. Then there is no point in utilizing that system, or there is no point in discussing about that infrastructure. So what we want here is machines should be learned and they should be educated. They should be trained with all types of data. One advantage here is in the human beings, we have some capability saying that, hey, I can take only this much. After this, I cannot be able to take it up, or I'm not able to learn more than this. This is enough for me. You can put a restriction there, but machines are not like that. You keep on ingesting the data onto the machine, it will keep on learning, and then based on whatever the user is asking, it will give the response accordingly. And that's one of the biggest advantage which machines are having. It can take a lot of data, and at the same time, it can give you the answer in a very quick way. That is the biggest advantage with the machine learning. So as I said you, right, the purpose of the machine learning here is, this is again a part of AI, but it ensures that it can be able to do predictions and decisions without any programming. See, without explicit programming means here, yesterday, some of you have asked me a question. Like without programming means, what do you mean? See, without programming means here what is happening. So let me say your model is ready. Okay. So this is the model. Machine learning model is what we call it as. To this model, you will ingest a lot of data. Okay. Any type of data which is available over the internet or books, whatever data you want to ingest into the machine, right? You can do that because this is your machine learning model at the end of the day. Okay. Now, what I'm saying is to feed this data to this model, right? You don't need any code. You don't need to write a code and send it. Take this data and add it to the model. So now you may ask me how to develop this model. That is what is a machine learning concept. Okay, if you are interested to learn machine learning, that in the machine learning, the concept which you are going to learn is how to create the models, algorithms. Okay, next you will have, in this case, algorithms also. Okay, so algorithms is also another important thing which we all should be able to consider. Because these algorithms which are present, right? These are your special programs. Okay, here is where algorithms will be there in your model. But now what is an algorithm? It is a special program or instructions which is going to tell to your model that how to learn from this data, which is being provided by the people. And using this algorithm only, you are going to predict or do a decision, all of these things. These algorithms are being developed using R programming language, or you can use Python for it. Okay, so you are trying to understand, right? Somewhere, if you see very closely, algorithms are being developed using again R programming language or Python. And these algorithms are being fed into a model, machine learning model. So what I'm saying here, without explicit programming means if you want to add a data to the model, you don't need any program to write and send the data. Directly take the data and add it to the model. But this model, okay, where it has algorithms, right? Those algorithms are being written using the R or the Python programming language. Otherwise, you may get confused thinking that this itself doesn't need any programming language. No, it definitely needs a programming language. Python and R are very simple, but that is a different story. Whether if it is simple or hard, that we don't want that right now. What we want to understand is when you say without explicit programming, what does that mean? It clearly means that you can ingest the data into the model, and then here the model has algorithms, and these algorithms are very, very important, where it is going to make sure that you can find out like patterns or decisions or whatever you are able to do with the machine learning is all because of these algorithms. And that is what you will learn in the machine learning in a very advanced concepts. Okay, for that you need R programming language or Python. This clarity every one of you should be able to maintain it. And then, as I explained yesterday, right, take an example of a kid whom you make understand how apple looks like. It's red in color, little circular in shape, so that your kid will be able to learn. And next time, whenever you provide different types of fruits, your kid will be able to go ahead and detect which one is an apple. The reason being your kid is been. So same in machines also behave in the same pattern. You are going to train a lots of data to your machine. Machine will be able to go and learn all the different types of data, and you don't need to educate your machine. You just keep on feeding the data to the machine. That's it. That is what you have to do. You just need to keep on feeding the data. It will automatically be able to learn on its own. It will automatically be able to go ahead and learn on its own that which one is apple and which one is not. So you don't need to go and educate again to the machine. Your only responsibility is feed how much data you want it. Automatically, it will train on its own. Now you may ask me, how is that capability is there in the machine learning? That capability is there because of algorithm, which we just discussed before the slide. That capability is because of this algorithm which is present, so that it can learn on its own, then it can give you the predictions, it can give you the decisions, and then can be able to proceed further. Okay, always remember one thing, what it is giving, it is a prediction. Okay, there is a lot of difference between prediction and correct answer. Okay, otherwise you may think that machines are always 100% right. No. Okay, that is not 100%. That is the reason we are using a term specifically prediction. Okay, we may not focus on this much, but there is a lot of focus which we have to have with this term called as a prediction. So at the end of the day, if you are not happy, you cannot curse your machine. Okay, saying that why you are not giving me the correct answer. But you have to understand, first thing is your machine will never give you a correct answer. It's a prediction which it is going to give. If you are happy, you will proceed with it. If you are not happy, then again you'll ask your machine to predict it in a much better way, so that it can further enhance and can be able to move ahead. So that is the overall clarity we all have to understand it. Okay, it's just a prediction. Now, if you ask your machine learning to give a decision, it is just your machine's opinion. Okay, but if you think that this decision is not going to work for me, then you can take your call. Okay, so what I'm saying is you have to follow. At the same time, at the end, whatever the decision you are going to take is very important. Then you cannot say that it's because of the machine learning I got to know about these things. Otherwise, I was not intended to. No, it's never going to happen like that. Okay, that is the reason it says I'm predicting and letting you know. After that, it's your call. If you want to go ahead with it. If you don't want to, then don't proceed with it. Okay, that is the point you all have to understand. Now, machine learning, as I said, it needs a lot of training data. Why we need a lot of training data? Just to make sure that our model is learning extensively. Okay, so it's directly proportional. For an example, your machine learning model, okay, if it is having, imagine less training data, then obviously the output which you are going to get will be less effective, because your model is not trained with a lot of data, right? It cannot be able to proceed further appropriately. But if it is being trained with a lot of data, then the exposure is good. So you will get a very good results. Imagine a human being experienced with a lot of different scenarios. That person will definitely give you a better opinion rather than the one who doesn't have much exposure. Same happens here also. In the machine learning model, when it is being trained with a lot of data, you will be getting a very accurate and a good predictions. Coming to less trained data, you'll have little bit difficulties in that scenario. Okay, due to which you need a lot of training data. Computation power means nothing but speed here. You need to really have a very good amount of speed to move ahead. If you don't have a thorough speed here, right, then the amount of data with which you are able to make your machine trained will, if it is getting slowed down, then ultimately the output which you will be getting will not be very quality or very effective. So definitely good amount of speed is needed. And algorithms, as I already mentioned, these are the key things. So using R and Python, we create algorithms, we incorporate that into machine learning model so that it can give us the effective outputs. Okay, so this is the overall clarity which we should be knowing with regards to machine learning. Okay, a high level overview. Till now, we covered with regards to generative AI, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. So I'm taking you now one more step further. Okay, and that is going to be your deep learning. Okay, now this is your deep learning. These are all part of your AI only. Again, I'm not saying that these are all different. Okay, these are all part of your AI. So now, when you talk about deep learning here specifically, right? What does this exactly mean? Like, what is that we are actually trying to say here as a deep learning, and what are all the points we should be able to consider? See, deep learning is again a subset of your AI. Okay, so deep learning is again a subset of whatever your AI is present. So we all know that AI here is a broad spectrum. That's what we learned, right? Inside this AI, we learned one is machine learning. Now, inside this world, there is another one called as a DL, deep learning. So AI, ML, already you know. Now we will go with the deep learning and we'll try to understand what exactly here is a deep learning and how it is going to have a significance in the generative AI. Okay, we'll try to connect all these dots so that you can all get a better understanding. So now, if I take you to the deep learning, right, let's understand in a very simple way. Okay, as simple as possible so that you all can understand it in a very clear and as well as in a better way. Now, for an example, when I say here, okay, when I go ahead and say deep learning. So first, to understand this deep learning technically, let's understand a general example, a general terminology, so that you all can get to know in a better way. See, towards the left-hand side, I have something called as a human brain, which is neurons. Now, what does this say? Imagine as a human being, right? We all have our brains. Okay. So in our brain, we have billions of tiny neurons. Okay. We have a very tiny cells in our brain, which we basically call scientifically as the neurons. Now these neurons, right? They are interconnected to each other. And because of these neurons only, you can think, you can learn, and you can make decisions. Okay, when one neuron sends a signal to another, right? It's like our brain is processing the information and then it is able to move forward. Okay, so generally, as a human being, I'm not talking anything about technology as of now. I'm just talking as a human being, like you, me, all of us. We have our own brains. Okay, so within our brain, you have something called as the neurons. Now, we have not one neuron, we have billions of neurons available in our brain, which we call it as a tiny cells. So now imagine like when you smell something, okay, a pungent smell or a good smell, you can be able to detect it, right? Like what exactly it is, how you are able to do all of these things. Reason being, like in your brain, you have neurons, right? It is going to like inhale when the moment you're going to inhale, right? It will send the information, okay, to a particular neuron which is available, and that neuron will send the signal to another neuron like this. All the neurons will be able to get that information. They'll process it. They'll process whatever information is there, and then they will give you the output. For an example, you are being asked to take a decision. Okay, you are being asked to take a decision. How will you be able to take a decision? So what you will do, first you will understand, okay, what are the pros, what are the cons, or what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages? First, let me analyze. Why do you say I need to analyze? Because you want to give some time for your brain to process the information, to understand what are the different scenarios. After processing, that means neurons in your brain is processing that information, and it is letting you know, that, hey, you go ahead and take this decision. Then you will take it accordingly. And that is how the human tendency is going to work. That is how our human brains are going to work, where you have multiple neurons there, and all the neurons will work together to make sure that we are collectively taking a better decision. It may be good or bad. That is a different story. Decision may be good or bad, that is a different story, okay? But what you have to understand is the neurons in the human brain play a very important role for you to process the information. Okay, inside the brain, there is a neurons. Any information you provide, the processing is done with the help of the neurons. And then you will be taking the decision accordingly. This is how human brain works. Okay, this is how human brain basically works with the neurons. Then gradually, imagine AI. What happened with AI? When AI came into the picture, I said we are all ensuring that our human-like intelligence is getting transferred to machine. That is our end goal, is what we thought of. Right? So great. So that is what AI is. Then we came to machine learning. In the machine learning, we said, let's create some algorithms or models so that as you go and train a lot of data, the machine will be able to give you a desired or the better output, is what we learned. Now coming to deep learning is saying that why don't we go ahead, create this neural network? Okay, the one which is in blue. Why don't we create same neurons which is there in the human brain in a machine? Okay, why don't we go ahead and create a same brain-like structure where you have so many neurons in the brain, right? Why don't we go ahead and create in the system then? So that our system can also work like a human brain only, right? And that is your deep learning. Okay, that is your deep learning. Deep learning here is nothing but creating a human brain-like structure in the machine so that it can also be able to think in a way how human brains are able to process the information through neurons. That is deep learning. Now, if you see here, right, neural network. Okay, if you observe here, neural network. Now, this neural network is, I'm talking about a computer model is going to happen. So you'll create a model. Within that model, you'll have the neural network present. Now, neural network is right now in the computer's model. Okay, in the human brain, you have neurons. So what is happening here? Basically, we are ensuring that a human brain-like structure is getting created. So instead of neurons, here what is happening is it has a layer of units. If you see, these are the layer of units which are interconnected to each other. Like how neurons are interconnected to each other, here we are having different layers present. Now all of these layers are connected to each other. Let's understand what these layers are. So if you see input layer, right? This is where the neural network will get the information to process. Okay, so let me say if somebody asks any question to the machine, right, or to the model, computer model. So first the question will come through input layer. So input layer is where the neural network will get the information to process it. Then there is a hidden layer. Okay, these layers, all the hidden layers, 1, 2, 3, whatever you see, right? These hidden layers are nothing but this is the layer where the information will be processed. It will pass through multiple steps, just like how the neuron pass the signals in the brain, right? In the same way, they will be passing all the information. They will gather whatever is needed, and ultimately it will come to the output layer. So in the output layer, this is where the neural network will give you the final result or decision after processing all the information. Okay, after all the information is processed, here is where you will see the output is going to be provided to you. Okay, in simple terms, if I would say, just like how our brain uses the neurons, right, to process the information and make a decisions, in the same way, a neural network is also using a layer of connected units so that they can be able to take the data, process it appropriately, and can then give you the relevant information so that we can be able to go in a right direction. Now, for an example, just think in these lines, okay? So let's say you have a Copilot. Now, in the Copilot, you ask a question, right? You ask a question. Now, what it will do, it will give you the relevant answer. Okay, so now, great, you're asking a question, Copilot is giving you the answer. Awesome. How it is happening? Because Copilot at the back end, it is taking your question, processing your question, and giving the answer to you. Copilot at the back end is using a neural network like this. So your question will be the input layer. You are providing an input. Okay, so that question will be taken up here, and then later it is going to be supplemented to different layers which are there in the Copilot. You'll never be able to see this. You are never gonna be able to see this architecture. Okay, this will all be there behind the hood. That is the reason these are called hidden layers, where actual processing of the information will happen, whatever question you asked. And accordingly, it will give you the output. Only two things you can see. One, whatever question you asked is an input. Then second one is the output which it provides. Whatever hidden layer, right, it will process the information with whatever it has been trained. It will go through layer by layer. Why we need layers? Why don't we have only one layer? Why we need 3 layers or more than that? Reason being, if you have more layers, right, more verification will be done. Imagine there are 3 people. You are asking them, like, first person has validated the data, then second person, third person. When multiple people are validating the data, there are high chances that the result will be like very accurate. So that is the reason you are having multiple hidden layers where it will help you to process your data appropriately so that you can always get the relevant out or more appropriate out. Okay. So that's the point we have to understand it. Now, let me say, if you think that only 3 layers, no, you can have as many layers as you want. Okay. So how many layers you want, it's up to the product what you're developing it. Now, I cannot say that only 3 layers or 4 layers, just like some random number. No, we cannot predict like that. It's about how much big model you are creating. Are you working for the healthcare sector where you have a large amount of data? Are you working for the land and revenue department where you have a lot of data? It all depends on case to case, product to product, whatever you are developing it. Accordingly, you will get the relevant output for it. Okay, so that is how multiple layers are being present with us, where it will help us to process the information, like how our human brain has a neurons, right? To process all the information. In the same way, all these hidden layers will be able to go ahead, process all our relevant information, and then will be able to give us the output. So only two things which you will be able to see in the Copilot is one, whatever question you are asking. Next, all the hidden layers will be behind the hood as an architecture. It will run everything, and finally it will give you the output. Input is the one which you pass, output is the one which you see as a result. Remaining all the things, that is the reason it's called hidden layer, where you will not be able to see it. But you have to understand at the back end, all of these are interconnected to each other. Now, you may ask me, is it only for Copilot this model works? I will say no, every. Even your chat GPT also works in the same model. Even your, let me say, Gemini, Claude, Anthropic, all the LLMs, the large language models which are being there outside the world, everyone is working on this architecture. Everyone is actually working on this architecture. Behind the hood, now see, you are going slowly one by one. Yesterday, what I explained to you, I said it very clear. See, generative AI means what I explained yesterday. It is responsible for you to generate content like text, video, audio, image, whatever you want it as, code and all. So now, how it is getting generated? With the help of the artificial intelligence. Okay, but I know you all know that using AI only, but can we go little deep and understand? And that is where we are currently, right? If you observe here, you are seeing that the data is getting generated through AI only. And behind the hood, this is the architecture which is available, where you have how the neurons present in the form of a human brain. Every LLM, like your chat GPT, it may be, or Copilot, it may be, or Gemini, or Claude, whatever you take it as, at the end of the day, all of them are having the neural network associated with them in the form of architecture, where you have input layer to take the question, then pass it through multiple hidden layers, where it will process, it will validate, all the layers will validate whatever the information it is providing is appropriate or not. And finally, the output layer, that is where the answer will be provided. So next time, whenever you are going to use the Copilot, or whenever I am going to teach you practically, right? Today at the end, we will see some prompts. So when I'm going to explain to you, you have to understand that behind the hood, these are all are the things which are actually happening, due to which you're able to see the desired output. Okay, so that's the understanding which you should all be knowing. So now I'll ask you one question. Okay, you don't need to answer it over the chat, but just think and you yourself get the answer. Okay. So now if I ask a question to all of you saying that we learned, okay, let me do one thing. Open my just yeah. So let's do one thing. You already know what is AI, right? We discussed about artificial intelligence yesterday, and today we again revised it. Then again, you know what is machine learning, and we also discussed about it today also. Now we completed the DL, deep learning. I'm putting a short forms, okay? Do not get confused. Artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning. Okay. So now, say me one thing. These are the three things. Now AI is a broad area. Underneath the AI, you have machine learning. Underneath the machine learning, you have a deep learning. So now you already know what is GenAI, at least the definition and what is its responsibility. Can you say me, where will GenAI fit? Okay, you learned AI, whether it's going to fit here, whether it's going to fit here, or whether it's going to fit here. Okay, my question is, where is that the generative AI is going to fit? Either in AI, either in ML, or either in DL, or you think all three of them? Okay, so options are, where will GenAI is going to fit? AI, ML, DL, or all of them. That is AI, ML, and DL. Okay, I'm getting some responses. Cool. Some say all, some say deep learning. Okay. I'm just waiting so that you can think a little bit, because here thinking is very important rather than just going away and then providing the answers. Yes. Okay. So now, good, 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 everyone. The people who all have answered, great job. And the people who thought and you were able to get the answers on your own, for you also, all of you, a great job. So now for this to answer, I'll go a step further. Okay. So park that question aside. When I move further, right, automatically you'll get an answer for it. Okay. Let me explain some more concepts and you yourself will be able to get an answer. Okay, so basically, what is here deep learning? Deep learning is a part of the machine learning. As I said, you right, AI, and then underneath your AI, you have your machine learning, and then you have a deep learning. So deep learning is what? It's a subset of your machine learning. Okay, it's a part of your machine learning which is present over here. That is a clarity we all have to understand it. So whenever you talk about a deep learning, it's nothing but this is a part of your machine learning. Okay, it basically focuses on teaching the computers to learn, and then it make the decisions by using a specific type of a model called as the neural network. So in machine learning, what you learned? You remember in the machine learning, I explained to all of you, here machines are being trained, right? They are being trained with a lot of data. Now, with the help of the deep learning, what is happening we are doing? In the deep learning, we are bringing a human brain-like structure. And that is our neural network. So what is happening in this case? By using this neural network, what it is able to do is it is able to take the decisions. Okay, with the help of the neural network, as it is working like a human brain, as it is processing a lot of information, it's able to go ahead and create some good decisions for us. Okay, and these neural networks are nothing but these are inspired by the human brains, as I said you. Okay, you have multiple layers. More the layers, more will be the accuracy. Okay, that is another thing you all have to understand. If there are more layers like this, you will do more validation. If there is more validation, that means the outcome or the output is going to be very much better and strong and efficient, I would say. Okay, so those are the points we all have to consider. So the moment you go ahead and proceed further, right, like you will be able to see some good scenarios being coming up over here. More the layer, more will be the efficient result. Less the hidden layers, less will be the efficiency of the results. Okay, so that is how the validation happens, which you all should be clear. And in the deep learning, one keyword is the neural networks. Without this, there is no deep learning. With the help of this neural networks, as it is processing all the information like a human brain, it is able to take a decisions and then it is giving us the appropriate output. Now, one more thing I want to highlight here is just because I'm saying that it is able to transform the human brain like structure using the neural network, it doesn't mean that again here the results also will be 100% accurate. No. See, at the end of the day, this is also machine only. You are creating a neural network to give you the best results. Now, that best doesn't mean it is accurate. You have to decide whether if it is accurate or not. You are you are the main person at the end. You have to validate and then finally say. Just because these layers are validating it, it doesn't mean that you should agree that yes, it is correct. No. After which the output is provided to you, right? Then you also need to take the responsibility to validate from yourself. Okay, so that you will be very clear with the outcome. If you're not happy, then again say to your machine, hey, I'm not satisfied with this, so please go ahead and give me the best results. Then again, it will process it. And then it will come back to you. Okay, until you're satisfied, you have to keep on going. So you just cannot say that just because it has a lot of layers, it will process and it will give me the best one. We cannot guarantee. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. But it all depends on the situation to situation is what I want to highlight. So in a very simple terms, I would say deep learning is again a more advanced version of your machine learning. Okay, yes or no? Because see, deep in the machine learning, what you're doing, you're training the lot of data with the machine, you're creating those models, algorithms. But in the deep learning, what you're doing is you're bringing a human brain-like structure and creating a neural net. So obviously, it is more advanced than the machine learning. Okay, that is the reason it is having a neural networks where it will help you to learn all the things and then it can help you to take a proper decisions so that you can be able to proceed further. The accuracy in the deep learning is way much better than the machine learning. Okay, so now if I take you to this picture, right, this is what we learned till now. Artificial intelligence, as I said, you are transferring the human-like intelligence over here. Okay, and then you have a machine learning where it is being meant for your machines to learn from lot of data and it will improve over the time. How it is going to improve? Improve means imagine as a human being, okay, when we start our education, we go with a very primary. So we cannot expect that, right? A primary kid can be able to go ahead and solve something at the secondary level. It's very common thing. So whatever the person, like the kid is learning, so relevant to that, the kid may be able to perform very well. But you cannot expect the secondary or a graduate level things to be solved at that point of time. So same thing. Along with the time, the kid is going to grow and then automatically he or she will be able to attain the knowledge. Same happens with the machine. What happens is at one go, you are not going to bring whatever the data is available in the world. So you'll start with small. You'll make your machine start with small. Then you will bring some more data. Then you will bring some more. Like this, you'll keep on adding, and then ultimately your machines will become much, much efficient. So it will improve over the time. And then your deep learning, which is again a subset of your machine learning. See this combination. AI again, machine learning is a subset of your AI. Deep learning is a subset of your machine learning. These are all interconnected to each other. Okay, and then what you're doing, deep learning has a neural net. If you have any complicated problems or any complex things to be solved, then deep learning is the right solution because it has a neural network which is inspired by the human brain, where it can solve a lot of different things and can be able to help us out. Okay, so that's the deep learning. So now, if you observe here overall, right, this is going to give you the entire understanding of whatever we were been discussing till now. Okay, so whatever we were been discussing till now, right? So you are going to get a better clarity in this case. Okay, so if you see overall, this is what I was explaining. That is the reason you would have thought at the initial, right? Like, okay, we discussed generative AI, but why we moved into AI, ML, and TL? Because our concept is GenAI, right? So you should understand if you really want to know the generative AI, right? Without knowing these three things, you cannot be able to move forward, whatever may be the scenario. So this is the overall clarity which I would expect all of you should be able to maintain. Okay, so whenever you talk about your AI, ML, deep learning, and then generative AI, okay, so you should know all these things. I'm not saying to be a masters in all of them. You become a master in generative AI. But if you want to become a master of generative AI, you should know everything, at least the basics of it, or an overview, like how we are covering it right. So now generative AI is basically a subset of your deep learning. Okay, generative AI is a subset of your deep learning. And but at the end of the day, all of them are interconnected to each other. So the answer is generative AI is dependent on deep learning. Now, deep learning is dependent on machine learning. Machine learning is dependent on artificial intelligence. So all the four of them are interconnected to each other. Okay, so if you think that if I remove one, can we survive? No. All of them are interconnected. That is the reason you should be knowing everything here. Okay, so AI, which is present in the largest circle, right? This is the broader concept. AI includes everything. Everything it includes, like creating intelligent systems, you can perform the tasks, okay, which basically require human intelligence, right? Everything is present in AI, which is a broader sector. Then comes underneath this AI, a very smaller circle inside the AI. See the circle which is there in blue color, right? That is inside your AI which is present. That is your machine learning, which focuses majorly on teaching the computers to learn from the data and then make the decisions, okay, for all the tasks, whatever it is performing. Then you have another circle inside the machine learning. See the circle. Inside the blue color, you are having a green color circle, which is a deep learning. Okay, now this is saying, this is even more specialized than the machine learning. Okay, which has been having a neural network and helping us out to take the decisions. And then finally, inside the deep learning, you have another light yellow color or a cream color, I will say, a generative AI. This is even small circle. Okay, this shows that generative AI is a specialized subset of your deep learning. Okay, which focuses majorly on creating a new content like text, image, music, all of those things, audio, video, code, everything is being created today with the help of the generative AI, because behind the hood, generative AI is having a deep learning with it. So now, if I give you an example, take the Copilot. Okay, in the Copilot, you ask an input. Like, for an example, what is AI? You ask a question to Copilot, what is AI? Now, it will go ahead and you are expecting that output should be provided to you, right? When you ask a question, what is AI? It's giving you the output. So behind the hood, what is happening? This is a generative AI concept. So generative AI as a concept, what it is trying to do right now is at behind the hood, it is using what? Deep learning. Deep learning means, it's all about the neural network, right? It's going to have a neural network like this. Okay, so behind the hood, you will not be able to see all of these things. You will only see input and output, as I said. These are your hidden layers. Okay, these are your hidden layers where it will process the information and it is giving you the output. So that's the reason I said you yesterday. It's not a magic where you ask a question and AI will give you the answer. Okay, especially in the world of IT, magics are not going to happen. For everything, there is a logic. And that logic is what I'm explaining to you, right? When you ask anything in the world and if the Copilot is answering it to you or ChatGPT is answering it to you, is because of generative AI is behind the hood is having deep learning with it. And that deep learning is nothing but the neural network where it has a hidden layers where it is processing the information, whatever you are asking, and accordingly it is generating the responses to you. So that is the overall clarity which all of us should be able to expect whenever we talk about the generative AI. So this is the overall clarity which I said that we should all be aware of. Without knowing these things, we are talking about generative AI, Copilot, doing a lot of things inside it will not make any sense. Okay, so this is the utmost clarity which we all should be aware of. Is everyone clear with this? Any questions with regards to this concept? Because this is the first topic in the agenda which I just want to cover so that you all are very clear with these things. Perfect. So these are the important points which we should be able to have it in computer and layers. Yeah, that's what it can have as many layers as you want. N is the number which you can define. That's what, as I said, right? You can have multiple layers. Okay, there is no limitation. More the layers, more validation will happen. Okay, less, if you have less layers, then you'll have less validation. Okay, so imagine if you have 10 people to validate the work, will that result be more effective? Or you have only 1 or 2% to validate? Will that result be more effective? Obviously, the one with more number of people, if they validate, you'll have more perspectives to think about. So same happens here also. You can see again, as I just shown you 3 layers, it doesn't mean that we are limited only to 3 layers. You can create as many layers as you want and you can be able to move forward. Okay, without any limitation. So that's the clarity which we all should be able to maintain overall. But yeah, at the end of the day, you can create multiple layers. So this is how generative AI, you have to link it to multiple other technologies which are being there within your AI, ML, DL, and generative AI. So the answer for the question which we asked is generative AI is a subset of your deep learning. Okay, even though they are all connected to each other, but still generative AI is majorly dependent on your deep learning. That's it. So that is the overall clarity which we should all be able to maintain. Okay. Till here, all of you are clear. So now, if you see here, in this case, conventional AI system. See, conventional AI system which is present, right? So what does the conventional AI system basically do? Okay. What does the conventional AI system basically be able to go ahead and do? That's something we have to understand. See, conventional AI system is meant for us to predict the data, classify the data, or to cluster the data, or you can use NLP or a computer vision. So I will explain to you. Conventional AI means it is not a GenAI. Okay, this is not a generative AI system. It's a different system altogether. So 1 minute, just give me 1 minute. So basically, if you think in this way, right, like as I said, you conventional AI means what is happening in this case, whenever you want, you can input your data. The moment you go ahead and you input your data, right? So it will go ahead, see here, AI will be able to process the information. Okay. It will be able to go ahead and will process the information. Okay. So it will input your data, whatever input data you provide it, right? This is the information that you're giving to your AI system. Like it may be a text or an image or no number, whatever you give it. Okay. Then you have the AI the AI system is going to process the data, okay, using all the algorithms. Okay, here if you see, AI will have various algorithms and techniques, and then running this algorithm, okay, it will be able to give you output. So basically, output can be in different ways. Okay, output can be in different ways. One, it can predict, that means it can forecast. Okay, it can forecast the data and can be able to give you the result. Sometimes it can be classification, where you want to classify the data into, okay, into any categories. Okay, like spam, not spam, something like that, like where you can classify the data into multiple categories. Clustering means if there are any similar data, okay, if there are any similar data, we can put it together. If there's a similar data, we can be able to put it together. And then NLP here is a natural language processing, where it is nothing but NLP means it's just plain English. Today, you are going to ChatGPT, Copilot, and then you are giving a normal, let me say, you are able to go ahead and just trying to give an input in a plain English. What it is NLP, natural language processing, where it will understand the human language and it is giving you the response. That is NLP. Coming to computer vision, right? It will give you all the images, okay, all images, videos, all of these things. Okay, all your images, videos, and everything you will be able to get it from your computer vision. The common name is computer vision. Okay, but all the images, videos, whatever you get is what we call computer vision here. Okay, so this is what you have to consider. So this is a conventional AI system. You provide an input in the form of a data, and that data here will be taken into consideration. Like you will be able to take the input data, and then the information will be taken into consideration, and then you send it to the AI system. AI system will be able to collect all the text, images, numbers, whatever you provided. AI will run the algorithm on top of it, and it will give you the data in different ways. This is the output. Okay. Basically, this is the output. Okay. These are the different. Okay. These are basically the different outputs which you can get. Is I'm explaining to all of you right now. One can be prediction, where it will go ahead and forecast the data for you. Like based on whatever data you provide, it will predict the outcome. And it will let you know this is what is my prediction. For an example, let's say you want to set up a business and you want to give the AI, okay, you want to go ahead and then try to give the AI, right? So AI will go ahead, will understand your outcomes that you want to start a business, whether if it is a good idea or not, it will be able to go ahead and give you the output. That's it. Okay. So that's the clarity you all have to mention in this scenario. Okay. Then comes another one is classification. Now, if you want to classify the data into multiple categories, yes, you can definitely do that. You can use classification to segregate your data into multiple categories. Okay, like tables. If you want to create a table, you say that, hey, I want a category of price. I want a category of quantity. Okay, I want to have a category of like different things you can be able to go ahead and have it. So next, now if you see here in this case in clustering means grouping all the similar data. Okay, so if you see here in this case clustering, there will be a similar data. Like if you can go ahead and can group all the data together. Okay, and then NLP is nothing but you can understand and process the human language, like plain English and all of those things. We are doing it right. We're able to go ahead and handle a lot of different things. Okay, computer vision. So compared to computer vision, right? Like here you can understand all the images, videos, all of those things will be falling under the computer vision. These are different types of output for conventional AI. Okay. So this is something which we always be able to go ahead and consider. So Okay, that is what I was able to explain. In the conventional AI system, like for an example, if you see here, this is your machine. Okay, basically this is your machine. Now, right now your machine is being trained with a lot of data here, right? It's a lot of data. So now, as a lot of data is it's been trained with, your machine will now predict that out of a list of pictures, which is the apple. So this is your apple. Okay. So basically, this is the apple. This is a prediction. If you see here in this case, one type, I'm just showing you one type. Like this, outputs can be of different types. So whatever the machine has been trained with, it will take that all the data into consideration and it will predict which one is the right one. And it will be able to go ahead and say that it is an apple. That is a prediction, one type of an output. Like this, you have different types of outputs which are being present from this. Okay. So these are the points you have to understand. Now coming to generative AI, right? Okay. In this case, now for an example, if you see here, generative AI. Now what is happening in the conventional AI, right? Basically in the conventional AI, these are the different types of outputs. Either you can do prediction, classification, clustering, where you can combine all the similar data, or you can take NLP to process and then use human language and get the output like English and all, computer vision to get images, videos. This is the world of AI. This is the world of ML. Okay. But now coming to generative AI, this is a concept of deep learning and your GenAI. Okay. So what is happening here? Same. Here also you are inputting the data. Now AI, okay, in this case, AI here as a model. Okay. Artificial intelligence here as a model will be able to go ahead, run an algorithm where this algorithm is nothing but your neural net, right? So you have the neural network is there at the backend. So as a neural network is there in the backend, now it will be able to go ahead and will try to generate you all the text, image, audio, video source code. Okay. So these are all the points we have to consider in this case. Okay. So this is the difference you all have to understand. The conventional AI always talked about prediction, classification, clustering, NLP, computer vision, and all. But right now, if you see the generative AI systems, okay, so this generative AI system is always responsible. Okay, it is always responsible for generating only this. Now, if you use GenAI for prediction, for classification, for clustering, that will not be the right area. For that, you have to use machine learning or AI. But for generative AI, only these are the areas. To generate something new, okay, generative AI responsibility is not to look into existing data and give you the outcome. Generative means it will be able to generate something new to you so that you can be able to see the results appropriately. And that new can be either a text, either an image, either an audio, either a video, either the source. Okay. So this is the clarity we all have to consider when we want to talk about generating all the relevant information which we get. That you're all getting the clarity right now, that how you can be able to consider between the conventional and the generative AI systems. Okay. Hope that this is all clear to all of you. This is how you have to differentiate between conventional AI model in terms of output, whatever it is delivering, and the generative AI, whatever output it is also actually trying to deliver it to us. So this is the clarity which all of us should be able to consider. Okay. So here, see, this is the generative AI. Okay, this model, what it is going to do, again, you have a generative AI model. Okay, it is also trained with a lot of data. Yeah, this is also being trained with a lot of data. You know what GenAI will do right now? GenAI will be able to take this entire data and it will create a new apple. It will understand how apple looks from the list of data which it is being trained with, and it is going to create a new apple altogether for you. It will not pick up some apple from here and it will dump the data. No, no, no. It will generate. It will know, okay, apple looks in the red color. Apple has a leaf at the top. It is little bit round in shape. It will understand all those patterns and it will create a new apple for you. It will generate a new apple and you can be able to take it. Okay. That is what you have to ultimately do. That's the way how generative AI. Okay. If you see, okay, this is your machine learning. How machine learning works? Machine learning says that, okay, from a list of things, I already know how apple looks. I'll predict, okay, this is the apple. It will not generate anything new to you. That is conventional AI model. But now when you talk about generative AI, here the model is being trained with lots of huge of data. Okay, just give me.
Yeah, faculty members, trainer having some technical issue. Please hold for 2 minutes. Okay, trainer will join again. Okay, thank you. Meanwhile, I'm sharing the attendance link. So please mark your attendance. Okay. Soumya ma'am. Hi, Chandana. Yesterday I joined via YouTube live, so I did not get the attendance there. We sent it, ma'am. If you missed out, that's okay. But today onwards, don't miss out to mark your attendance. Okay.
So I think I was I was talking actually. Sorry, sorry. Okay, okay. No, no. I was just talking about like say let's say this is a generative AI, okay, where you can get trained with a lot of data, and at the same time you can always be able to go ahead and then like you will be creating a new like whatever the image which has been there, right? It generative AI will always be responsible for us to create a new thing. It will not pick something from the existing data and dump it over here. It will always create something new to us. Okay. So that's the clarity we all have to maintain. So the key takeaways.
So, somebody asking that yesterday attendance we didn't mark, so please share that day one attendance. Sorry, we can't share that. Okay, but today's you can mark it, no problem. And make sure that today onwards you are like you are going to mark your attendance. Yes, sir. Like uh, whoever joining in the session, so we are counting their attendance, right? If we post in WhatsApp group, everyone will mark their attendance. So it's not correct, no? So yeah, trainer is back. Yeah,
Yep, Chandana.
you
Thank
can
you.
take up.
Thanks. Yep. Thank you, Chandana. Okay, let's go to the key takeaways over here. So again, as I said, right? So you have to be knowing this thing right now. So what is happening in this case? Like if you talk about the machines, in this case, machines need a large amount of data, right? Without having the large volume of data, you cannot be able to move forward. So definitely large volume of data is needed. If the volume of the data is large, you can be able to go ahead and handle it appropriately. Okay, that's what I said you. Like if the data is, if let me say, if your machine is not being trained with a lot of data, then your machine will not give you good result. So definitely you have to make sure that you are able to go ahead and train it with a large volume of the data without any difficulties. And then I said you need high computation power, which is nothing but the speed. If you do not have a proper speed, right? If you do not have a proper speed, then the output which is being given to you will, if it is taking a lot of time, then you lose interest. So definitely we need a very good computation power in terms of speed so that we can all be able to take it further in a better way. And then if you observe here, right, one more interesting thing, we are shifting to conversational and contextual understanding. What does this mean? I'll put it very simple. Let us say, for an instance, okay, for an instance, let us say what happens. Okay, you open a Google Chrome, right? You put some search, like let us say, for an example, okay, best places to visit. Now, when you say what Chrome will do, it will go ahead, give you some links, right? It will go you and give you some link. You have to go through link one by one. You have to click on the link, go through the information, read it appropriately. Okay. And then you have to be able to come further. Okay. So that's something which you should be able to understand it. Okay. So the thing what you have to consider here is, like, let me say in this scenario, what is happening is you are right now in any of the Copilot or Chat GPT, when you're sending a request, it is giving you the response. It's not giving you link saying that you go through these 10 links and then you get the output for it. It is not saying anything as such. Okay, you're getting my point, right? It is what it is trying to say is it is giving you the context. It is giving you the context so that you can be able to go ahead and help you. Yes, that is the clarity you all have to understand. So this is important point which we should all be able to consider. Okay. So conversational contextual understanding is what we call it as. Okay. So you don't need any links. Okay. You don't need any links here. Just ask a question. It will give you the response. It will not ask you go through these links, click on that link and you go and figure it out. Never. That is the beauty of the generative AI. Okay. So you don't need to click on any link and then go through it. It will directly give you the answer. Either it may be ChatGPT, Copilot, or either it may be any of the other tool you take it. That is the advantage which we all have to consider overall in this case. Okay. So these are the key takeaways which you all should be able to consider. So now let's understand what is Microsoft Copilot. Okay. So now let us understand that how Copilot here is going to play a very, very important. Okay. So basically, whenever you talk about the Copilot, right? Like, what is the Copilot about? Okay. So before we understand the Copilot, I'll explain you one important point, LLM. Very important. Okay. What is LLM and where we can use this LLM in a maximum extent? Then we can see Microsoft Copilot and we will do a small demo also. Okay, where you will understand how we can be able to use the Copilot. I'll explain you the tool also. Okay, so let's go and try to explore this. So first of all, let me go ahead and do one thing here. Okay, I'll explain you the LLM in this. So let's go and put it over here. LLM. What is LLM? First of all, what is the full form of LLM? LLM means large language models. Okay. LLM means large language models. No, what that is a full form. These are advanced AI. Okay. LLM is the advanced AI where you see here, right? Explicitly, this is your large language models. These are very, very powerful and are very specifically designed to understand and generate the text which will sound like human beings. Okay. LLMs are very powerful and they are being designed in such a way where it can understand and can also generate the text which the human beings can easily understand. That is English. Right? That is what we call English, like where you go ahead, you provide the input with a plain human text, like how we write in English, right? Same text you can provide, it will give you the desired response and you will be able to see the outcome of the result. That is LLM. Okay. So in simpler terms, LLMs are nothing but your large language models, okay, which will help you to ask a question in the form of a text. And then at the same time, you will also be able to see that the answers also will be provided to you. Okay. That's your ultimately LLM is what we call it as the large language model. Okay. So this is something which you should be knowing it. Now in this LLM, you have your chat GPT. You have your, in this case, Microsoft Copilot. Okay. And then at the same time, you also have your, okay, and your Gemini. The three important LLMs, the large language models, which are present. Okay, so this is how the model is basically going to work, which we have to consider. Okay, these are all your LLMs, the large language models. Okay, now how it is going to work, I'll show you. See, how it is going to work is you are going to input the data. Input the data means that's your question. The moment you input the data, right, you know, chat GPT it may be, Copilot it may be, Claude it may be, or Gemini it may be, whatever LLM it is. You know what it will do the moment the data is inputted? Okay. Behind the hood, it will have a neural network. Okay. It will have whatever we learned, right? It is going to have the neural network here. Okay. In this case, you are actually having the neural network being present in this scenario. And then finally, it is going to give you the output. Okay. Finally, it's going to give you the output. So this is what is going to happen at the backend, which is hidden. You provide an input, it gives you the output. But behind the hood, there is a neural network which is going to run all of these things without any difficulties or challenges. So this is the high level clarity which all of you should actually be able to have here as a clarity. Okay, so now if I take you to the Microsoft Copilot here, right? So basically this Copilot is nothing but it's an AI powered tool, okay, which will help you across the various Microsoft products, because see, it's coming from Microsoft. Microsoft has various products like Word, you can use it in Excel, you can use it in PowerPoint, but the only problem here is, okay, the only problem which you need to understand in this case here is, like for an example, when you talk about the Microsoft Copilot, right? This Copilot is a Microsoft product. So it will automatically be used for Word, Excel, and PowerPoint also. But you have to pay for it. It's not free. Okay, if you want to use your Copilot in Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, you have to pay for it. Without paying, you cannot utilize it. Yeah, that's unfortunate, but yes, you have to pay. But we have alternatives. Don't worry. I will explain in these 5 days of sessions. I'll explain that how you can use this alternatively, and we can take it further. And at the same time, it also uses your AI model. Okay, behind the hood, what is the model? That is your neural network. Okay, to understand whatever the user is asking and to give the respective output. Okay, it uses the model at the back end. That's what I explained to you here, right? If you see, there is a neural network at the back end to understand the input and then go ahead and finally give you the relevant output. Okay, so that is the clarity we all have to understand in this case, where AI model will take into consideration the neural network and then it is going to give us the better results. Okay, so now let's go and try to have a look into the demo, how the Copilot looks. Okay, so that you all can also be able to do, but listen to me carefully. First, I will explain to you. Okay, first I'm going to go ahead and explain to all of you how the tool looks like. First, understand everything. Then I will give you some 2 to 3 minutes of time. You can also be able to do it from your end. Okay, so let me quickly go ahead and try to open the Copilot for all of you. So here is the Copilot. So if you want to enter into it, you can go with your copilot.microsoft.com. Okay, so this is the URL. Let me see if I can put everyone in the meeting. Yeah. So I just shared the URL to all of you. Okay, which says copilot.microsoft.com. This is basically the platform where you can access your Microsoft Copilot. Okay, the URL which you all have to utilize in the internet, it may be Chrome or Firefox or Edge, wherever you want it. But go to copilot.microsoft.com, which is free of cost. Do not worry, you don't need to pay anything, even a single rupee you do not need to pay. It's totally free of cost and we can be able to utilize it. Okay, so let me explain how this tool works. The very first time when you go and say copilot.microsoft.com, when you go through it, it will ask you to log in. That is the only thing you have to do. Okay, if you have your Microsoft account or if you have your Gmail account, you can provide that account, provide your password, and then enter into the account. That's it. You don't need anything else apart from it. You don't need any other things apart from it. Just go to copilot.microsoft.com. Inside this copilot.microsoft.com, you just need to log in yourself. Okay, provide the mail ID and then the relevant password associated. The moment you provide your mail ID, once you log in here, you will be back again. Okay, you are actually going to be back to your Copilot in a way, however, I'm showing you right now. This is how the interface looks like. This is your user interface of your Microsoft Copilot. See how good it is. Whatever we learned, right? Have you been able to see anything? No deep learning, no neural network, but all these things will happen at the back end. Okay, all of these things are going to happen in the back end. But for you, it will look so nice. Like, see, it has a very good interface. If you observe here, right? One, here you have the Copilot. If you want to start with any new topic, you can click on the new topic here and you can ask any question here. Like how in Google, when you go to the Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge, whatever it may be, you ask a question. Same thing you can do here. Ask me anything is a place where you can ask whatever the question you specifically want. Yeah, whatever the question you want, you can go ahead and can ask over here. And accordingly, the Copilot has to go ahead and give you the desired response. Okay, so that's the clarity we all have to understand in this scenario. So you can always go ahead, ask whatever the question you want, and then it will always be able to go ahead and give you the desired responses. Okay, first try to open this copilot.microsoft.com, everyone. Okay, copilot.microsoft.com. So you can please make sure that if you can be able to go ahead and make sure that you try to log in to the copilot.microsoft.com and then let me know once you are done with it. Just try to open this copilot.microsoft.com. The moment you go ahead and then try to open this copilot.microsoft.com, you should see something like this. Then I'll explain you the tool and we will run some small questions and see whether Copilot is generating the response or not. Please go ahead. Okay, hope you all have entered into the copilot.microsoft.com. So now let me go ahead and explain to all of you how this is actually going to look like. Okay, see, this is your UI where you have towards the right hand side, right, chats. This is your history. As and when you go ahead and interact with your Copilot, right? So you will have your history available here. Like for an example, I'm going to say right now, what is AI? Okay, I'll just say what is AI here. Now, this is a place where I can ask any question, not only question. You can ask any random thing and it will be able to give you the response. See, now this is my input. My input is I'm asking to Copilot, say me what is AI. And then here, there is an option to submit. So click on the submit button. It should now go ahead, see, Copilot is searching. It's saying me that, hey, AI is so and so, like you have learning, reasoning, perception, natural language, autonomy, and all of these things. Okay. So we'll understand what is the content it has shared. Like first understand the usage of the tool basically. Okay. Now the moment I said what is AI, it's able to go and give me some information. Now let me say I will go and say new topic. Okay. So whenever I go ahead and then say new topic, right? So it is taking away the existing part. Okay. And now let's go to untitled chat here. Okay. If you observe in this case, right? So basically, this is something which I was able to recently work upon. Okay, this is something which got stored over here in the resets. Yes, the time is 4:41 p.m. It was able to go ahead and store it. And then again, at the same time, if you see here, now I'm going to say what is NLP. Okay, what exactly is NLP? Now again, it will go whatever the data which it has been trained with, it will go ahead and give me the response. Okay, see, the natural language processing, what exactly that is the natural language processing, everything it's giving me the information. So this is how, here is a platform where you ask your question and then you click on the submit button. It will go ahead and will give you the relevant response, whatever you want. Okay, and now let me say you forgot something. You said what is NLP? NLP can be anything. So I'll say I will edit here. There is an option to edit. The moment you go there, if you think that something is missed out or you are not able to add the content appropriately, then simply click on the edit button. Then again, it's giving you the option for you to edit. I'll say, what is NLP in AI? Okay, again, I'm resubmitting it. It's able to go and talk right now only in terms of AI only. See, understanding the language, generating the language, applications, techniques, all of those things, it's able to go ahead and give me the responses, right? The moment I go ahead and say what is NLP in AI, it's able to go and give me the relevant responses in this case. Okay, now how the response is, see, it first talks about what is NLP in AI. Then it is asking us what are the key aspects you have to consider, like first understanding the language, okay, then generating the language, then applications, okay, then techniques. It's giving you all the options here. And you know, one of the best things here is it is also letting you know from where it is able to read the content. See, it is giving you the sources. For the first point, I picked up from IBM.com. For the second point, I picked up from the Wikipedia. From the third, it is able to pick it from Oracle. From the fourth, it's able to pick it from CIO.com. So it is also letting you know that I'm not doing something magic here. I have been trained with a lot of data. And when you asked me a question, what is NLP in AI? I was able to go and search it from the data which I have been trained with, and I'm giving you the responses. And from where all I have been able to pick those responses, I'm also letting you know here so that you can still learn more if you wish to. It is also giving you those links here. If you're happy with it, you can click on the like button. If you're not happy with it, you can say dislike. It's like a feedback to the Copilot. If you wish, you can export it. You can copy this content. You can copy it. You can click on copy button and you can paste it wherever you want it. See, when I say copy and I paste it here, right, it will be able to go ahead and paste it appropriately. So let me say I did not paste it finally. Let me go ahead. Click on the copy button. Okay, so it should be able to go ahead and try to copy all the content. So there is a copy button in this case. Okay, here. This is a copy. This is an export button. If you want to download it, you can click on export button. If you want to download it in the Word or a PDF or a text, you can do that. Okay. And if you want to read this out, okay, if you want to read this, you can just say here, read aloud. Okay, if you say here, this will go ahead and will read all the information. Okay. So it will go ahead and read it line by line and will let you know the output of the program. And we are in free trial. Okay, this is a free trial. If you want to purchase, you have to go with a Copilot Pro. Okay, Copilot Pro is the paid version, but we don't want to go with that as of now. Okay, but if you are interested, you can purchase it. But otherwise, we can go always with a free trial. For free trial, we will be limited for 30 responses per hour. Okay, we will be limited for 30 responses per hour. That's it, not more than that. So that's the clarity we all have to understand. Okay, we will be given like only 30 responses per 1 hour. After 1 hour is completed, then again you can be able to pass 30 responses. Okay, 30 or sometimes it can give you 40 also, but not more than that. Okay, so that's the clarity you all have to understand here. So this is how basically the Copilot tool looks like. Okay, so you have the question. Okay, so you can ask your question from here. And then at the same time, if you're not interested in this topic anymore, click on the new topic. Okay, so it will allow you to go ahead and then try to go ahead with the remaining content so that it will be easier for all of us. Okay, so if you can go. Okay, all the chat will be stored here. So the recent chat which got stored was at 447. Okay, so now what I'm going to do here is I'll say what is, let's see what it is going to do. What is National Education Policy in India? Let's say, what is National Education Policy in India? Let us understand what the Copilot is going to give us. Okay, let's see. First of all, it will take some time. Okay, and then it is going to take it up. See, the National Education Policy is a comprehensive framework designed by the government of India. Okay, you can, it's still coming up with all the details. Okay, see, with just one question. Now, if I would have done the same in Google, it will give me a lot of links. I have to go through link by link. I have to understand everything. But here, it gives me a very short summary explaining me about like how NEP is trying to target the multidisciplinary education, how it is trying to think about the care and education of the childhood. Okay, literacy, curriculum, how the curriculum works, how it works in higher education, teacher education, technology in education, equity and inclusion. And if you want more, okay, let me say, I got responses, but I'll say to my Copilot, hey, please be more descriptive. Okay, or you can say, or detailed. Okay, it has given me, but this is all one-liners. Okay, this is again all one-liner, but I'll say, hey, please be more descriptive or detailed. I don't want like one-liners and all because I want something more. See, now it is giving me all the things: objective, implementation, function, strategies, all of these things it's providing here. Okay, so now based on whatever you say to your LLM like Copilot model, accordingly it will go ahead and give you the relevant responses. And you know what is happening at the back end, as I explained to you here, right? You are giving the input data, like what is NEP, National Education Policy in India. Then you said, please be more descriptive and detailed. All of these are input data where at the back end in the Copilot, there is a neural network where it is processing the data and then relevantly it is being able to go ahead and give you the output so that we can see how the output will actually work for us. So that's the clarity we all have to understand overall in this case. Okay. So right now, if I go back here, see now it is so detailed and very descriptive, whatever the data it has provided to me. See, early childhood care and education, it's giving me objective, implementation, like goal, strategies. Again, it went to curriculum. It said me what are the key changes it's happening, how it is been moving ahead, then multilingualism, and then again higher education. Okay, and then again teachers education, how the teachers are going to be educated, what is the quality they are going to bring in, how continuous professional development is important, what is a national mission for mentoring for the teachers, how the technology can be leveraged in education. Okay, what is the equity and inclusion, governance and regulation, everything is very clearly been written. And it is asking you at the end, see, interesting thing is, at the end, it is asking us that, do you still want to explore? Is there any particular area you would like to explore further? Like for an example, it has given a lot of details for me, right? If you see here, but now I am interested to know more about, let us say, so many things it has given, right? I want to know more about teacher education. Okay. So I will say, hey, I want to know, okay, more about the teacher education. Okay, let's go ahead and run this. Now, this will be going into all the details regarding to it. See, so it's going and giving us all the details of how the national education policy can be helpful for us. Okay, that is for the teachers so that it can give us a better idea. Let's see once all the topics are completed. Yeah, now let's go to the top. So now if you see here, it says very clearly, okay, integrated teacher education program. Okay, by what is the objective, how the structure is being modeled, then what is the continuous professional development, what is the requirement every teacher has to fulfill, and then the support. Okay, and then the policy, the national professional standards for teachers, like what is the purpose of it, implementation, how you need to use the technology. Okay, how you have to include the technology in your daily life when you're trying to teach. Okay, what are the governance which you need to consider, what are the challenges and the future directions for all the teachers as part of the national education policy. See, so clearly it has given to you. And one more advantage is, if you want to dig further and use it for some research perspective, so you can also go through the links here. It is also saying you, if you want to take it more, or if you want to take the journey further from now on, here are the links available for all of you where you can utilize these things. Okay, so these are your links which are available. You can also click on those links and can be able to move forward. So like that, you can also be able to go ahead. And here, it is also giving you some suggestions. Let me say you are not able to think in a different way. Then here it is giving you suggestions saying that, hey, do you want to know how our teacher education program structured? Or you want to tell me more about the policy? Or either you say me what role as a mentor, like what role do mentor play here in the teaching process? Okay, so all of these questions also you can ask. For an example, I want to know more about the process or the policy which they have prepared in. I will click on it, it will go ahead and it will dig deeper and it will give you all the relevant information. So like this, I'm just giving you demo. We have not started any prompts, okay? Do not think that this is a prompt. Whatever I'm writing is a plain English, which we can casually write it. These are not prompts, okay? This is just to let you know that how you can use the Copilot, a demo. Okay, just how to ask a question, how to see the response. Okay, so we are trying to get to know those things and how the tool works like. And then we understood like this is all LLM and behind the hood, what is happening? There is a neural network which is helping us to process the information as part of deep learning concept and it is giving us the relevant output. Okay, so this is the clarity which you all have to understand it. See, whenever it says something like this, sorry, the conversation has reached its limit. Let's start a new chat. That means what it is trying to say is say new topic. I mean, the limit is exceeded. Please start a new topic or a new chat. Okay, then it will allow you to go ahead and still ask you some more questions. So like this, you can be able to play around with. Let me say I'll go to the new topic again. I'll say some random thing. I'll say suggest me some, okay, I'll say suggest me some innovative ideas where it can help me. Okay, I will say where it can help me with the research of the generative AI. Okay, so I think that will be helpful. Generative AI. So now, sometimes what I did, see, intentionally innovative, I made it mistake. Okay, generative, I made it mistake. Okay, but still, your Copilot or your LLM is so smart, it will understand what you meant to say. For an example, let's go ahead. Okay, but it is a free version. Let's see whether if the free version can also do it all. See, it's able to understand it. Generative AI. Okay, it's giving me no ideas. So you are all faculties, right? So you will be very much interested. Okay, I want to do research, but where? You're not sure about it. So now, as a starting point, it's able to go and give you some good ideas. See, if you want to target healthcare and medical research, so you need to use the AI to generate how a new drugs can be created and how you can predict the drug into the market so that people can purchase it. Medical imaging, personalized medicines. Okay, for education, adaptive learning systems, content creation, accessibility. Okay, and then creative industries like in music, image, story generation, like this in different areas, you can be able to go ahead and can inculcate some new ideas. No, I'm not happy with it. I'll say, you can write it the same. Okay, you can say that I am not fine. Okay, I'm not fine with it. Okay, still, okay, I'll say, still I want you to provide me the best innovative concepts. Okay, I just have kept it. Let's see what my Copilot is going to do right now. It's able to go and says that, okay, so it's now going into little in depth and it is giving us the content. Okay, so you can think in all of these lines for AI. Now you may think, okay, we are learning AI. So that is the reason it will only give me AI. No, it's not like that. Okay, for an example, I'll say, give me the best innovative ideas for the research in cloud. Okay, or maybe say in blockchain. Okay, so now you may think, okay, we are talking about AI, so is it AI only? No, you give anything. It will go ahead and give you all the relevant information. See, okay, so whatever you give it, it is being trained with a huge amount of data and it will give you the relevant response. So see, now you are in a very good shape because already we understood the concepts. Now we are seeing the demo.
correlate the theoretical part, what we discussed, and right now the hands-on part, where we are seeing the demo. So behind the hood, all of these things are happening so that you can read the information appropriately without any difficulties or challenges. These are all are the points which you all should be aware when you try to utilize your Copilot. Okay, hope that I have given clarity to all of you. Play around with this. Okay, just play with it. You can ask any questions, any different type of things. I have asked like around 5 to 10 questions. It's able to give me the responses. In the same way, you also start asking questions in a plain English. Okay, it will go ahead and give you the relevant response. Play around with it. So tomorrow, when we come back for the third session, we will learn about the prompts. What are prompts? What are prompting techniques? I will show you what are different prompt techniques we have to utilize so that I can be able to go ahead and explain to you. Like today, what we did, we have written in a normal English, but tomorrow we will have a techniques to write it in a better way. So those prompting techniques, we are trying to target it for our tomorrow's session. Okay, so we will understand first of all what is prompt theoretically. We'll first revise the topics, then we'll go to prompts. Let's understand theoretically, and then we will come to the hands-on activity. And here we will run different types of prompts to see the output of the program, or to see the output of the whatever prompts we are writing. So that will be the agenda for the tomorrow's session. So do let me know if there are any questions before we wrap up the session overall. And this is what I just want to complete for today's part. So we understood again what is AI, ML, generative AI, deep learning, how the deep learning works with the help of generative AI is what we have seen. And then later we understood what is LLM as a concept. And then we went into Copilot. As a demo, we understood how the tool looks like. And within the tool today, we were able to go ahead and run some text. And then we were able to see the relevant output. This is what we have done for our today's session. Tomorrow, the agenda will be prompt engineering, how to write the prompts, what are different prompting techniques, all of those things we will be able to take it. Okay, hope you all have thoroughly enjoyed it. So this is what you have to understand. It's the same. Prompt and prompt engineering, both are same, Srinivas. The same only. Prompt is nothing but it's a text. Prompt engineering means knowing how to write that English text, which is a prompt. Prompt engineering is a process for you to effectively write the prompt. Okay, that is what. Both are same only, but that is a process for you to write the prompts effectively. That's it. What is the difference between Copilot and Chat? It's the same. Again, the people who ask me what is the difference between Copilot and ChatGPT is both are LLMs only, large language models only. But only thing is ChatGPT is a product coming from OpenAI. Copilot is a product coming from Microsoft. Now, if I ask you a question, what is the difference between Google search and Microsoft search? That is Bing or Edge. She will say same. Whatever you provide there, if you provide here also, it will give you the response same. Only thing is, like one is owned by Google, another one is owned by the Microsoft. In the same way, ChatGPT is a product coming from OpenAI. Microsoft Copilot is a product from the Microsoft. But if you see very closely, right, Microsoft Copilot and ChatGPT both are more or less same only actually. Okay. So how you use ChatGPT for asking questions, in the same way, Copilot also you'll ask questions and you'll get the relevant responses. Okay. Hope it is clear to all of you. Yeah, good. Thanks. So you asked some Rigveda questions and it provided. Awesome. Way to collect the data sets from Copilot. Yeah, absolutely. So you can ask the responses. Thanks for sharing those things. Okay. Awesome. Any real-time example? Yeah, we will discuss that later. Right now, it's too quick, Rahman. Okay, we are right now only in the day 2, right? Real-time examples, we will take it up at the end. Once we are all clear with the concepts, then you will get a better exposure. Okay, there we will take it up and we'll try to understand in a better way. Just wait for me to cover that topic little later and we'll proceed further. While searching, we don't need any guidelines. You can simply go ahead and search it. Okay, we don't need anything specific. Guidelines and all, again, I'll talk about ethical considerations of AI. There we will talk. Okay, perfect. So I've answered all the questions and over to ExcelR team.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Um, so dear faculty members, I'm sharing the attendance link again. You missed out attendance, please mark your attendance. And any more questions you can ask me. And like starting, I got a messages like we didn't receive any mail like after registration. So please check now. I hope you have received it now. Okay. And day one attendance we can't able to share today because 60% attendance is mandatory for the certificate. From today onwards, don't miss out your attendance, okay? Or else it will affect on your certificate. Okay. So I didn't receive any chat in the YouTube. Okay. If you don't have any queries, you can leave the session, no problem. Yeah, Tulasi, you can check now. I hope you have received it. If not, just drop an email to edl@excelr.com. So my team will revert you back. Thank you so much. Yeah, we'll wind up the session for the day and we'll meet on tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining. Bye, everyone.